was the only source of information that the Israeli public had emanating from Israel, because shortly after whatever happened in this 20-minute period happened, and before he made that statement, Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government put total censorship. I don't know how they can do this in the modern era, but they did it. Total censorship on reporting what happened in the conflagration between the two. Here is our colleague and friend, Alistair Crook, yesterday on this show explaining what happened, cut number 13.
One of the reasons we can't give more detail of this is immediately at 5 o'clock in the morning, the Israeli government issued an absolute ban on any reporting of any damage or any attacks. A complete censor was imposed on what happened in Tel Aviv, what happened at the airbase, which they also attacked, which is where the drones flew from. Absolute ban, no reporting, no photographs, no visuals. And so they've put a complete blackout on any news of any damage to any infrastructure, any defense sites, or to the intelligence bases in Tel Aviv.
Does a sophisticated society like Israel tolerate a total ban on news? Presumably not good news. If it were good for the Israelis, the government wouldn't put a ban on it.
Yeah, that's true. Clearly, whenever there's information bans or attempts by governments to shape information, it means that they're afraid of what's out there. They're afraid of the possibility of counter narratives or just facts, truthful evidence. They don't like it. We know governments are kind of like criminal elements, really. They're criminal gangs, and criminal gangs, they fear exposure. Okay, they fear evidence that shows they did something wrong or they're guilty. So these governments are criminal gangs, and clearly he's got it under control in Israel. But I think many Israelis, they're sophisticated people. They are well read, and they're internationalist in many ways, including the Israelis that live abroad from Israel. And so they're paying attention to information. This idea that he's going to be able to freeze access to information for very long for everyone, it's really a short-term thing, even for the best controllers, like Netanyahu must imagine himself to be.
But he has friends in the media, because I'm going to put this in front of my face. This is the front page of yesterday's Wall Street Journal, which purports to show an Israeli Iron Dome rocket destroying a Hezbollah missile. And the same photograph, a smaller version of it, was on the front page of the New York Times. That photograph, according to Alistair Crook, is a year old. That photograph was taken in the daytime, and this 20-minute conflagration between Hezbollah and the IDF occurred in the pitch dark of night. So who does Netanyahu and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times think they're kidding?
It's crazy. I mean, they are one and the same. Apparently, they get their information from the same sources. They march to the same drummer. But I don't think they're very aware that the rest of the world is very exposed to many bits of information and many alternative narratives. It really makes them look more foolish than anything else. And certainly the American media clearly is not doing its job, unless their job is to do as Netanyahu advises them to do. If that's the case, they are doing their job. But I don't think many Americans feel that that's what our major newspapers should be doing. It's a joke on them, really. I mean, it's a sad state of affairs. And again, this is why the newspapers are so concerned, and the governments that rely on those newspapers to shape their own government narrative. They're so concerned about things like Telegram, like Elon Musk buying Twitter. They cannot tolerate people actually doing what people do.
Of course, I mean, the Israeli government is not the only government that did this. The U.S. did this during the invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. The U.S. still hides what we knew about Pearl Harbor, still hides what we knew about 9/11, still hides what we knew about and know about the JFK and RFK assassinations. There's no limit to what these governments, whether they're criminal gangs or that purport to be democratically elected, lowercase d, or not, they still continue to hide the truth. But I couldn't resist this one because we caught them red-handed with an old photo taken in the daytime, and Alistair Crook put his finger right on it.